In a cheerful little party shop, tucked away on a quiet street, rows and rows of colorful balloons hung from the ceiling, swaying gently like little boats on a calm sea. There were bright red balloons, cool blue balloons, and even shiny metallic ones that shimmered like stars. Among them was one very special red balloon named Flex. No, Flex wasn't quite like the others. Well, they were perfectly happy to float peacefully and enjoy the simple pleasures of being a balloon. Flex dreamed of more. He wanted something different, something extraordinary. He would often whisper to himself, "Being floaty is cool, I guess. But can you imagine if I had muscles, like real balloon ABS, a six-pack of pure power?" The other balloons would hear him and burst into laughter. Well, as much as balloons can laugh without popping. It sounded more like a gentle, rustling giggle. ABS. One of them chuckled. "Flex, you don't even have a stomach." Another one chimed in. "Bro wants a six-pack, but doesn't even have one pack." They thought it was the funniest joke they had ever heard. But Flex was completely serious. Every single night, after the shopkeeper locked the doors and the last customer went home, he would practice. He'd twist and turn, trying his best to flex his smooth, round body. "HRNG, do I look stronger yet?" He'd ask his reflection in a shiny silver balloon. "No? Okay, how about now?" But no matter how hard he tried, nothing changed. He was still soft, still round, and still extremely floaty. He felt a little discouraged. But then one night, a new idea sparked in his little balloon brain. It was a bold idea, a daring idea, a terrible idea. "If I can't just grow muscles," he declared to the darkness, "then maybe I can train for them." His gaze drifted downwards from the ceiling, and he spotted at the jackpot. Below him was a toy box, and peeking out from the top were tiny plastic weights from a doll's gym set. "Perfect," Flex exclaimed. "My first workout begins tonight." With great determination, Flex began to lower himself. It was a slow, delicate process, letting out just enough air to drift down, down, down until his string finally touched the toy box. He carefully looped his string around one tiny dumbbell, then another, and another. He felt a satisfying pull. ABS, here I come, whoosh. In a split second, the weights yanked him down. Flex plummeted to the floor like a bright red meteor made of rubber, landing with a soft thud. "OW. Gravity is so mean," he groaned, completely flattened. But Flex wasn't one to give up. He tried to lift the weights, curling his string with all his might. 1, 2, 3, nope. Way too heavy. He struggled so hard that he ended up flipping himself over like a pancake, tangled in his own string. Seeing his struggle, a few of the other balloons slowly drifted down to check on him. "Flex, what are you doing?" one asked, concerned. "Why did you put weights on your string?" Flex looked up, his voice a little wobbly. "I want muscles. Big, amazing, powerful balloon muscles." The other balloons sighed, a soft whoosh of air escaping them. They gently floated around him and began to untie the tiny weights, one by one. With each weight that was removed, Flex felt a little lighter. He slowly began to rise off the floor, floating gently upwards. "Flex," said one of his friends, "you don't need muscles. You're a balloon. Your superpower is floating. That's what makes you special." Another one added, "Yeah, we'd love to float as high as you do, but we can't. You can reach the top shelf and see everything." In the shop, Flex paused, hovering in midair. He thought about this. He really did float higher than anyone else. He saw things they couldn't, like the dust bunnies hiding behind the gift wrap and the spider webs in the high corners. He was already pretty special, just the way he was. He said thoughtfully, "Maybe muscles aren't everything after all." With a happy little spin, Flex floated all the way back up to the ceiling, rejoining his friends. "From now on," he announced proudly, "I'll be the strongest balloon, in spirit." A blue balloon bumped him gently. And in floatiness, a yellow one chimed in. And in silliness, all the balloons laughed together, bumping joyfully in the air. From that day on, Flex still dreamed big, but he never tried to lift tiny weights again. Instead, he embraced who he was, a balloon who could float higher than anyone, reach any shelf, and bring a huge smile to every kid who saw him bobbing happily by the window. He finally understood. ABS are cool, he'd say with a wiggle, but floating is awesome. And with that, Flex bobbed proudly in the air, the happiest, floatiest, and most wonderfully ABS-free balloon in the entire shop.